Hare Krishna, everyone. Is my voice audible, Manasvi? Oh.
Yes, Mataji.
Clear, right? Yeah, Hare Krishna. Now it is better?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishnapristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarini. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatte Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Te Namaha. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Bhavanasute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Everyone can unmute and say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Understand Gita in 18 days. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So I'll not keep you. I'll keep you. I don't want to keep you all muted. Let it be open so that you can participate. So, but if there is any background noise, please keep yourself muted. So you can also keep your videos on. Okay. So welcome everyone to understand Bhagavad-Gita in 18 days. So 18 days you all are going to be with me, right? And we all will understand Gita. So let's pay obeisances to Sri Radha Govind. So this is our ISKCON Mangaluru deities, Sri Radha Govind. So I pray that let them show their mercy upon all of you, and this mystery of Bhagavad Gita becomes understandable to all of us. Okay. So what does Bhagavad Gita mean? Can somebody tell me? What do you mean? What does the term Bhagavad Gita mean? How was it derived? Hare Krishna.
Song of Krishna.
Yes. Going, Mother. Yes. song of God, right? So actually this is derived from the word Bhagavad and Gita. So Bhagavad means Bhagavan and Gita is a song of God. So because the Bhagavad Gita is told by Lord Krishna himself, this is called a song of God in Bhagavad Gita. I think there is some audio disturbance. So, okay. So when we have problem in life, we usually ask God, right? Everybody goes to God and we pray God that I'm in a problem, please help me. So Krishna has given this Bhagavad Gita in the form, he has given this as a life manual. This Bhagavad Gita can be called as a life manual because it has all the instructions on how to live in this world. Because like Krishna has created this world, so the creator knows what is their problem in this world and what is the how do we live in this world. He only knows the solutions, right? Just like if there is a manufacturer of a mobile, he knows what is the advantage in his mobile and what are the disadvantages in his mobile, right? Similarly, Krishna knows, but then so if we have to go, any problem is there, we need to go to we have to see in Bhagavad Gita, so which has all the answers. So now, the 18 days that we are going to learn is based on the teachings of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, who is our founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. So we'll go to, this is Gita Mahatmyam. Anybody knows who has written this Gita Mahatmyam? You can raise your hand or you can post in the chat. So what is the Shruti Phala? Like, what is the advantage of learning Bhagavad Gita? We'll learn through Gita Mahatmya. So anyone knows who has written this Gita Mahatmya? Hare Krishna. Can post in the chat. Nobody knows? No, it's not Arjuna. Is anyone else? Yes, Shankaracharya. Yes. No, it's not. Yes. Sri Ganga Devi Mataji is right. It is told by Sripad Shankaracharya. Okay. So we'll go shloka by shloka. Please keep your hand raised for reading the translation. I'll just unmute. Gita Shastramidam Punyam Ya Pate Prayata Puman Vishnu Padamavapnoti Ayashoka Adivarjitaha. Okay, anyone wants to read? And keep your hands raised. Okay, kept unmuted, so someone can unmute and read. Hare Krishna. Yes, Vandana Mataji. Please.
Gita Shastram Idam Punyam.
No, not that one, Mataji, the translation.
If one properly follows the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita, one can be freed from all the miseries and anxieties of life. One will be freed from all the fears in his life, and one's next life will be spiritual. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So, if we understand the instructions, so when we read Bhagavad Gita, it is not just once we read, we understand, we have to imply it in our lives, right? The instructions, we have to look for the instructions that Krishna is telling us. What is he asking us to do? So when we apply in our lives, then we can be freed from all miseries and anxieties. Gita Dhyayana Shilasya Pranayama Parasya Cha Aiva Santi Papani Purva Janma Kritani Cha. Yes, Meenakshi Mataji.
Is
Okay.
there?
Yeah.
If one reads Bhagavad Gita, very sincerely and with all seriousness, then by the grace of the Lord, the reactions of his past misdeeds will not act upon him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we all have done some mistakes and we don't know, it can be in this life or it can be in the previous lives, because this is not the one life we have taken. There are many lives, millions of lives we have taken, right? So it will, all the, whatever we have done, that will not act upon him, whoever reads the Bhagavad Gita. Malenirmochanam pumsam jalasnanam dine dine Sakvidgita bhasisnanam samsara malanashanam.
One may cleanse himself daily by taking bath in water. If one takes a bath even once in the sacred Ganges, water of Bhagavad Gita, for him the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished.
Gita sugita kartavya kimanyai shastra vistaraihi ya swayam padmanabhasya mukha padma vinishruta.
Because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other Vedic literature. One need only alternatively and regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. In the present age, people are also absorbed in mundane activities that it is not possible for them to read all the Vedic literatures. But this is not necessary. This one book, Bhagavad Gita, will suffice because it is the essence of all Vedic literatures, and especially because it is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah. So here he says Kimanyai Shastra. So what is the need of any other Shastra? Because we have so many Shastras, Puranas, Upanishads and everything, right? So we can't read everything. So when Krishna has himself spoken in Bhagavad Gita, so this becomes the one. 9AF, can you please mute? I'm getting noise. Okay. So when Krishna has himself spoken this Bhagavad Gita, then there's no need for us to read any other literature. Bharatamrita sarvasvam Vishnurvaktra vinishrutam Gita gangotakam pitva punarjanmana vidyate. One who drinks the water of Ganges attains salvation. So what to speak of one who drinks the nectar of Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is the essential nectar of Mahabharata, and it is spoken by Lord Krishna himself, the original Vishnu. So Bhagavad Gita has 1 lakh, Mahabharata, this Bhagavad Gita is a part of the epic Mahabharata, you all know, so which is having 1 lakh verse, and this Bhagavad Gita covers 700 verses. So Krishna, especially the 18 days that Krishna gives the instructions to Arjuna, which is the 700 verses. Sarvopanishado gavo dogdha gopalanandanaha partho vatsa sudhir bhokta dugdam gita amritam mahat. This Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, the essence of all Upanishad, is just like a cow. And Lord Krishna, who is famous as a cowherd boy, is milking this cow. Arjuna is just like a calf, and learned scholars and pure devotees are to drink the nectarine milk of Bhagavad Gita. So this Bhagavad Gita has the essence of all Upanishads. And it's like a cow. Bhagavad Gita is compared to the cow, and Lord Krishna is a cowherd boy, and he is milking the cow. And who is drinking this milk? The nectar. is Arjuna and all of us, right? Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva Eko Mantrastasya Namani Yani Karmapyekam Tasya Devasya Te Seva. Let there be one scripture only, one common scripture for the whole world, Bhagavad-Gita. Let there be one God for the whole world, Shri Krishna. Let there be only one hymn, one mantra, one prayer, the chanting of his name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let there be one work only, the service to of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. Okay, now I think I already shown once. So anybody can mention in the chat, what is the name of the founder Acharya of ISKCON? Okay. Yes, Srila Prabhupada. Is there a disturbance in my voice? It's fine, right? I saw some comment. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yes. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Abhay Charanaravinda, full name. So AC stands for Abhay Charan, Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. So now let's understand, because before we start Bhagavad Gita, we need to know about the author, right? So we'll understand about our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. So this is Prabhupada, sorry. So this is Prabhupada in San Francisco, celebrating Jagannath Yatra, which he first introduced in USA. So this is Prabhupada's childhood. Yes. So Prabhupada was born in a Vaishnava family. Basically, he was born in a devotee family. His parents are devotees. He was born in 1896 in Kolkata. His father, Gaur Mohan De, and mother, Rajni. His father was a cloth merchant, and though he was fully busy during the day, once he comes home, he used to perform all the pujas, and he used to read the Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and then Chaitanya Charitamrita, all the scriptures, and then performing Aarti and all this. So Prabhupada grew up by seeing all this. So he developed that devotional attitude since childhood itself. And when Mother Rajni, she wanted her son to become a lawyer, right, British lawyer. So she wanted him to send to the abroad, but then his father denied because he said, I don't want to live on my son's money. I want him to preach this Krishna consciousness, like the preachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Sri Krishna himself, who has come 500 years back. And this we are going to see in the further chapters. We will see in the it comes in the scriptures. So he has seen that. So what happens? He has seen the. So he says that I am not interested in sending him there. So basically, this is when he was 5 years. He had heard from his father that 400 years back, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was he started the Rath Yatra to Jagannath Puri. So even now there is a tradition from Kolkata. People go there, right? So it's 300 kilometers away, where people go for Rath Yatra every year. And recently this was done. I don't know if some of you know, the Jagannath Puri Yatra is very famous. There'll be 3 carts, Jagannath, that is Krishna, Balram and Subhadra. So he asked for a similar cart. Then his father arranged for him. And with the children, for 8 days, they performed this Rath Yatra. And they all the parents, all the mothers, they made sweets and they kept both for the God, right? And they distributed to everyone. And at the age of 6 years, Prabhupada asked, his father gave him deities of Radha and Krishna. And every day he used to perform puja. He used to do the aarti and everything in offering bhog and doing the Shayan aarti. Everything he used to do, whatever was done in the his father used to do. And there was a temple near to them. They used to go there, Radha Govind temple. where he and his sister, they used to go, and Prabhupada used to almost like, he used to, as a kid, he used to see the deities for almost 1 hour, right? So he was not a, that shows that he is not just like a ordinary child, right? He's a Nitya Siddha. It is called, we are all Nitya Bhatta, we are conditioned soul. But these souls are sent by Lord. There are representatives of God. They're sent by Lord to deliver the people like us. So here, Prabhupada, when he was just 26 years old, right? So that time he meets his guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Swami Prabhupada. So he, what happens is, one of his friends, actually Prabhupada was very busy, was in Gandhi movement that time, and he was a follower of Mahatma Gandhi. And that time the India wanted independence, right? He was fighting. He was also in that. So then one of his friends asked him that there is one spiritual master who has come. You please come, and you have to go and see him. Then Prabhupada denies, saying that I'm not interested, because he had seen many of the sannyasis who come, and his father used to treat them and give them food and all that. But many of them were not really following proper principles, and they were, some of them were also smoking. And by seeing that, he had somewhat not interested in those people. So he said that I'm not interested, I will not come. So his friend forced him that he is not like someone, anybody others. So once you come and meet him. So since his friend forces him, he goes there. And then when he sees, like, Prabhupada had very good English command, right? He did his education in a Scottish college in Kolkata, and he had very scholarly English. And now also you can see his Prabhupada books and all. We need really sometimes to know the word meaning, we need a dictionary. So such a scholarly person. So he goes there, and when he starts speaking, immediately he says, his guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Swami Maharaj says that you young men should go to West and preach this teaching of Bhagavad-Gita and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he was surprised. And then he says that Prabhupada tell him that for currently, for India, independence is most important. So then he says, his guru tells him, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj tells him that more than independence, because independence may come and independence may not come. But Krishna consciousness has to go forever. And this is most important, because this is the highest service that you do to humanity, because you are saving the people. I mean, from, you're teaching people how you have to prepare yourself for the next life. Right? And also how we have to establish the relationship which we have forgotten with the Lord. So he tells him that. And also he tells him that I am a Gruhastha, because Prabhupada got married at very early age, at the age of 22, and he already had one kid that time. So he says, I am a Gruhastha, how can I do? So then for that, his guru answers him that this is, Krishna consciousness is for all the ashramas, not just Gruhastha. It is for all the varnas and all the ashramas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and ashramas. What is it? Kshatriya, not the Kshatriya. So Varnashrama Dharma. I'm not getting the word. 1 second. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Brahmachari. Yeah, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Sannyasi, and Vanaprastha. Yeah. So this is not just for Grihastha. Yeah, this is for all the 4 ashramas. And here, this is Prabhupada. He was in Jhansi, where Prabhupada started League of Devotees. Okay. So League of Devotees, and there the governor was very supportive, and he gave him the space. There was one hall where it was given for preaching the Krishna consciousness. But later he couldn't continue that for a long time, because the governor's wife made that as a ladies' club, and he couldn't continue that. And Prabhupada, he's here. He was publishing for his Back to Godhead magazine. So it was in 1944. So when Prabhupada was doing this, he had like 40 years, Prabhupada tried preaching in India, but no one was ready to take up. Actually, he was literally, those time people used to have many children. So every house had four children, 5 children, right? So he used to go and ask like one kid, if you give, I can preach them the Krishna consciousness. But people were not ready to take it. And so Prabhupada had a very good business running as he was a chemical business, but then his factory got fire, and literally he came on roads, right? And then he understands that this is plan of Krishna. So later he completely dedicates, and he remembers like what his guru had told to preach in West, because Prabhupada was thinking, let me earn money and then I go to West and preach. But Krishna's plan was something else. So that is what his guru told him long back, 40 years back, when he was a 26-year-old, right, to go and preach in the West. And here Prabhupada was trying the magazine, Back to Godhead magazine, and where for publishing also he didn't have money. So whenever the copy, he had a good relationship with that person. Many times he used to go by walk. He didn't even had money to for his food. So that person could understand, and he used to sometimes give him food. And so once the magazine was got sold, in that money he used to repay for the next print, but that couldn't go for a long time. And then here again Prabhupada with Lal Bahadur Shastri, right, then Prime Minister of India, he meets him and he was very much interested. When he hears about this Bhagavad Gita as it is, he was interested and he wanted to implement in the schools and colleges. But unfortunately, the very next year, he dies due to some accident, right? So, and this is Prabhupada. First time he goes to America, USA, in Jaladuta. This is Jaladuta. So Prabhupada didn't have any money. One lady, Sumati Murarji, she sponsors him his trip, and it is not a passenger trip. This is Jaladuta, and it's like a goods carrier, right? And he was the only passenger in that ship, and it took 90 days. Like it is not easy, because everywhere it is sea, like there'll be you'll feel sick, seasickness. So in that, Prabhupada got 2 heart attacks. And in the second time when he praised Krishna that I have come here, based on my instruction of my spiritual master. If you desire so, if I have to go and preach the Krishna consciousness to the West, then please keep me alive. Then he gets in dream that all incarnation of Krishna comes and rows the boat, right? And next day, the captain of the ship then says that then there was no much waves, right? It's the Atlantic Ocean, but there was no waves, much waves. And he says that in his 20 years of service, he never had such a peaceful ride. So then successfully he is able to reach. And then Prabhupada, when he goes, so he didn't have a proper place to live also. So in the park, Tompkinson Square Park, he used to, in USA, used to go there, and from afternoon 2 to 5 p.m. he used to do the kirtan, Hare Krishna, right? And there were all hippies there, and those hippies, they were against the government. Those times there was a war going on. So then the government was forcefully taking all the people to a war, but they were not interested. So they were all become addicted to drugs and other intoxication. And these people, they all joined, and then while hearing, that attracted them, because they used to take and all these drugs, because they used to want to go, they feel higher, right? Higher consciousness. So they got this, and from them, few of them become very serious, and they become the great devotees. And from them, this Krishna movement spread, right? And this is in a West Coast America, wherein it's in a mid of a jazz club. So where Prabhupada's devotees take him, and Prabhupada there also chant Hare Krishna and made many devotees. And this is Beatles owner, famous music group, George Harrison. So through him also, he made a very nice albums of Hare Krishna mantra, and it was easy for Prabhupada to spread this movement across the world through music. And this was Prabhupada in Russia. Russia, all know, it's a communist country, and where the spreading of spirituality is not allowed. But there, Prabhupada tried very hard. He was not like, he couldn't spread much, but then he got one person, one devotee, who visits him asking for the album of Beatles. And then his disciples take him that we have the person who has made the Beatles owner disciple. Then he meets Prabhupada, and Prabhupada in just 3 days, right? And he makes a Xerox of all Bhagavad Gita and hand it over to him. And from him, the Krishna consciousness was spread in Russia, and then Russia was #1. So I think now it is India 1 and Russia is at #2. So that's how it's spread. So this is Prabhupada morning walk, where he used to meet all great people and he used to preach the Krishna consciousness. And this is Back to Godhead magazine, which Prabhupada found. Now also it is available. And this is all Prabhupada's many books he has written, more than 60 books. So ISKCON temples around the world. So this is our Radha Govind temple in ISKCON Mangaluru. This is Prabhupada Palace of Gold, West Virginia, USA. This is Bhakti Vedanta Manor in UK. So this is Ukraine, Durban, South Africa. So this is coming up, TOVP, Temple of Vedic Planetarium. This is coming up in Mayapur, West Bengal. This is under construction. Almost 70% is over. I think another in 1 or 2 years, this would be ready. So this is basically a dream of Prabhupada, where he wants to show the world what it is, like how are the planets placed and what are the planetary system, what are their orders, right? Everything. It is there. I think it is almost 7 floors. And Prabhupada want to show how it comes, all the planetary system from highest planet and middle planet and the lower planets, everything. So this would going to be a very beautiful temple. Okay. So now we will see Prabhupada journey. Okay. So Prabhupada goes around the world 14 times, right? So in just with 40 rupees he goes, and he makes in span of 12 years, 10 years, he makes 40 crores. Okay. So we see Prabhupada's journey here. Oh.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Yeah, so that's how Krishna consciousness spread around the world. So yeah, let's pay our obeisances to Sri Radha Govinda Prabhupada. So this our temple is located in Mangalore, Sri Radha Govind Temple, Coconut Garden, Tollgate, Kadri. So please do visit when you come to Mangalore. You're all welcome. And our temple president, His Grace Namanishta Das Prabhuji, and he's a BTech IIT Kanpur. And this is the 27th batch. So it is his dream to spread Krishna consciousness to everyone. And because of that, we are able to have these classes for free. So Bhagavad-Gita is an epic scripture that has answer to all our problems. It is called as Spiritual Dictionary by Mahatma Gandhi. And it is a book of inspiration for many leaders across the planet. So Mahatma Gandhi says, those who meditate on the Gita will derive fresh joy and new meanings from it every day. So this is Einstein who says, when I read the Bhagavad Gita and reflect about how God created this universe, everything else seems so superfluous. So why ISKCON Bhagavad Gita? Right? So can somebody say why Bhagavad Gita as it is? So why? Because there are so many Bhagavad Gitas, right? Why can't we just study any other Bhagavad Gita? Can someone raise your hand to answer? So there are many Bhagavad Gitas available in market, right? There are more than 600 versions of Bhagavad Gita. So why is it we have to, as it, yes, yes, Akshata Mishramat, yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, so it is Bhagavad Gita as it is because Prabhupada ji has written it the same way, I mean, the conversation which was done between Arjuna and Lord Sri Krishna. So the conversation was same, and that means it was not edited or extra, anything was not added. That is the reason it is written as Bhagavad Gita as it is.
Beautiful, very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Yes,
Hare
Nikita
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna. Nikita, yes.
Hi, ma'am. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so everybody has their own interpretation of Bhagavad Gita. So, like, if I read Bhagavad Gita as from a different source, so every guru has its own their own way of explaining, and I think this is as it is, and like it's explained in a very beautiful way. That's why I would like to have and consider this as the original Bhagavad Gita. So.
Okay.
This is as it is. Yeah,
Yes.
this is why we
Thank
have
you.
to.
Very nice. Very nice. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yes. So why? The thing is like we have to see if it is coming from a disciplic succession, right? So the message of Krishna must come via unbroken chain of disciplic succession. So we see whatever is available in market, right? It is like the people who are like they can be a big scholars, philosophers, or even politicians. Everybody writes nowadays because everybody wants to express their views and they want to market their own ideas for some selfish motives. But this is not like that because this is coming from a sampradaya. We belong to Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya, and this is coming from Krishna to Brahma, and then Brahma to Narada Muni, and that's how it comes in disciplic succession. And Prabhupada is our 32nd Acharya in this sampradaya. Right? So just like when there is when we want to charge our mobile, right? We put that, we plug in the charger. But if there is a disconnection in the charger, what happens? The electricity doesn't move, right? So similarly, there should not be a break in the sampradaya. So when we are so whenever we go to a college, we see so much, right? Whether it is a recognized college, whether they have a good lectures, whether teachers, and so many things we see. similarly, when we take the spirituality also, when we see Bhagavad Gita, just like that, we should not buy any book. We have to see which sampradaya that book belongs to, right? And this is a book, if you all can see, this is Bhagavad Gita as it is. And Prabhupada has given very beautiful, like word-to-word meaning for all the Sanskrit shlokas, right? And then the translation. So please do buy. This will cost only 600 rupees. And along with this, you also get another 2 books and a Japamala also. So Signs of Self-Realization, right? So and Perfect Question and Perfect Answers, another book. So these 2 also comes along. So this is very less, right? We buy so many things. Once we go to hotel, we spend thousands of rupees, but this is worth having it. And this is like a purpose. Books are like time bombs. Like even if you don't read, the future generation, whoever if in your house, if they read, and they will get benefited from it. So please do buy one copy, and we'll share the link in your groups. Soft copy is available in Veda base, and also we share the soft copy in group. But ideally, we should have a hard copy so that you remember and you read it. So Gita is a vast book. A systematic study of Gita will take about an year. In 18 days, we can't do that. So we are focusing on the flow of thoughts between Krishna and Arjuna. So what is the, you all know, 18 days, it is not possible for us to cover all the shlokas. In a 1 hour session, we cannot really cover everything. So we just, we create an interest in you so that you can go into deep, right? We have different levels of courses. So after level 1, we have level 2, level 3, level 4, and then Bhakti Shastri. So we have many courses. So this is just a basic level where the objective is to prepare one for a deeper study. So Arjuna Vishada Yoga. So Arjuna's lamentation. So this is observing the armies. So basically Arjuna, everybody, like they're observing both the parties, like the Pandavas and Kauravas, right? This between the 2 families. So they're observing the armies on the battlefield. So starts with Dhritarashtra's inquiries, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveta, Yuyotsavaha, right? And then Duryodhana's fear. So by seeing the army, what are his fears? And blowing of conch shells. Before the war starts, both the parties blow the conch shells. And then Arjuna's observations. Arjuna observes that his people, right, his friends, families, everybody are there in the opposite party. And then he decides not to fight. He gives up, giving Krishna the reasons. He gives the 6 reasons and 5 reasons, and he tells that Arjuna that he will not fight. So there are 3 different people and 3 different feelings, right? So here we see Dhritarashtra, and here Arjuna, and this is Duryodhana. So everybody are seeing, so we can relate this very much in our lives. There is a situation same for everyone, like in your house also, in our houses, like there is one situation, something bad happens, or so what happens, every person perspectives are different. One may see the positive of it, one may see the negative side of it, or one may not be much disturbed, but the other may be very disturbed. So similarly here we can see that he is in a different modes of nature. So he is in a tamoguna, mode of ignorance, right? So this person, because of him only this war actually happens, right? He supported Duryodhana for everything. All his whatever his son was doing, he was always supported. So even before the war started, Krishna goes as a peace talk, and he asks, like, just give 5 villages to Pandavas, because for Kshatriyas it's very necessary to have them. They should have they should have some kingdom. So he asked for 5 villages, but then he didn't agree. Right, but then he has to lose all his sons. And here he's in Sattva-guna, Arjuna. So though he is a capable and warrior, he is feeling sorry, like, why should I kill them? And here he is in a Rajoguna, right? He wants to, because he's very greed. Rajoguna means he's full of greed. He want more. So 3 different people and 3 different modes. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmakshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamaka pandavaschaiva kimakurvata sanjaya. Unmute everyone. Please repeat after me. Dhritarashtra Uvacha.
Dhritarashtra Uvacha.
Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre
Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre
Samavetayuyutsavaha
Samaveta
Mamaka Pandavaschaiva
Mamaka
Kima Kurvata Sanjaya. So some 1 or 2 shlokas every day we will recite together, and you can also learn those. Prabhupada has given us important 108 shlokas. That PDF also we can share you in the group. So please try to learn those, recite those. So basically Krishna consciousness, you all know, like Prabhupada doesn't speak anything which is not in scriptures. Everything there is a evidence. So it is good if we know few shlokas, because when you speak to others, if you quote from the scripture, that has more validity. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after assembling in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, what did my sons and sons of Pandu do, being desirous to fight? So how do we understand this shloka? With this example, we can understand. So after assembling in the war, right, so this Dharmakshetra is compared to this boiling of milk, right? So we know, like in the auspicious occasions, in the housewarming, usually we boil the milk, right? So this is called as, this is auspicious, symbol of auspiciousness. So Dharmakshetra, because Dharmakshetra is a place where even the devatas, the demigods, used to come and they used to perform the sacrifice. And also there is a victory for dharma. So that is why it is Dharmakshetra. And Pandavas were always on, they were virtuous people, right, on the dharma side. And it is Mamaka Pandava. So here, Dhritarashtra's mentality we can make out. Though the Pandavas are his brother's son and they all belong to Kuru family, he is separating them, right? He don't want to give consider them as part of Kuru dynasty, the lineage. So he's saying, what are my people? Mamaka means my people, and Pandavas. So my people means Kauravas. So Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya, what are my people and Pandavas are doing? And then Kima Kurvata. So this is a very insignificant question, because he's asking Kima Kurvata. So when people have, both the parties have assembled in the war field, obviously there's going to be a war, right? So then he's asking, what are they doing? It's just like you come to my house, I give sweet, and then obviously you're going to eat. If I ask, what are you going to do with it? Then that is very stupid question. So similarly, his question is insignificant. Okay, somebody can tell why is Dhritarashtra asking? Because Dhritarashtra is a blind and Sanjaya is able to see that what is happening. How is Sanjaya able to see? Can somebody answer? So we see here, right? This is Sanjaya, who is narrating whatever happening in the war field to Dhritarashtra. Divya Chakshu, yes, Veena Mataji. Who gave it? Yes, Divya Drishti. Yes, right, Ayushi Mataji. So who has given him that? Who has given him that? The divine eyes to see what is happening in war field. No, not Kanaji. Vyasadev, yes, Manju. You are right. It is Vyasadev because he is an incarnation of God himself, right? So he gives, and also his father of Dhritarashtra, right? So his sons are Pandu and Dhritarashtra both. So he gives him the divine eyes to see what is happening in the. So now Sanjaya is going to explain. So how is he seeing? How is he looking at the war field? Like, is he in happy mood, or does he look distressed or anxiety? How is he looking? You can post in the chat. How does he look? How does his face look? Is it very happy, or is he anxiety? Is there tensed, right? Yes, Nikita. Yes, Ayushi. Confused, anxious, Simi Mataji. Yes, very nice. So yes, he's looking very anxious because why? Because it's a Dharma Kshetra and he knows that his people are, I mean, they are not on Dharmic side. No? So that is why he's fearful. So we'll see. So Dhritarashtra's mindset. So he is doubtful because Kurukshetra is a place of Dharma. How will our army win? And then he's fearful, unfair, because he knows that he is unfair. And due to attachment, his attachment to his Duryodhana, his son. Actually, he was fearful because this is a Dharma Kshetra. What if they become to some conclusion that they will not fight? And what if my son agrees to give the kingdom to Yudhishthira? He's afraid. So what my son if he agrees? So he don't want that to happen. And then his partial mentality of me and mine, right? So this is the mindset of Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra's attachment versus affection. So this is something interesting. So everybody, like in life, which is good, attachment or affection, and why? You can just either post. Yes. Affection. So how do we differentiate between attachment and affection? Yes. Anybody wants to answer? You can raise your hand. Yes, detachment is better, affection not to entangle. Yes, attachment is bondage. Very nice, Dr. Deepa. Yes, attachment leads. Yes, Meenakshi Mataji. Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji, please tell me.
Attachment is to do with desire and expectation from the son that they will talk properly. I mean, they will do the correct action as per what he wants. It is not really a true affection, pure affection. It is more from I, me, myself, the I factor.
Yes. So attachment makes us blind, right? We will be like, so if a kid, right, for example, in a home, there is a small kid who is very addicted to mobile. So parents, they're like become helpless because they're so attached. If a kid, they don't want the kid to cry. If it is crying for some time, immediately we give the mobile to the child, right? Parents do that. They give immediately, but that they don't understand that will be harming the child, right? It is not at all good. But then the attachment is spoiling the kid. But affection means what happens? You see the long term, which is not good, and then you take decision. Even if he cries, the kid is crying, we don't mind because we know that that is not good for him. So similarly, when this war was to happen, like Vidura, who was his counsel there, he was a minister in his kingdom. So he was his younger brother, and he was advising him that please, you should take care of your son. He's doing all the illegal thing, and he's not following the shastras, right? And he's so he was advising him that you should stop him from doing all these sinful activities. So, but then he was never when he was never hearing that. He was just hearing, but then he was not taking any action because of his attachment. And when Duryodhana heard this, that Vidura was telling all this, so what he does, he insults him in the assembly, and just before the war, Vidura leaves there. So Vidura was not there, but Vidura goes to pilgrimage. He was not there during the war time, right? So this is what does the attachment will spoil. So attachment is not good. So here there is an interesting comparison. Dhritarashtra, compare your mind, our mind to Duryodhana and ourselves to Dhritarashtra, right? So you can post in chat. Are we also attached to our mind so much that we do everything what our mind says? Yes or no? Yes, right? Yes. So we are also, so this is a very nice comparison. So then what should we do? Should we not listen to our mind? So whatever mind says, we do it, right? Because we are not in Sattva Guna, when a person is in, we are not completely in Sattva Guna because we are involved in so much of materialistic activities for our sense gratification. So our mind is always mostly disturbed and it tells us when you are not, then when we have to actually, intelligence is higher to the mind. So we have to feed our intelligence, and then what happens? The intelligence is able to make out what is good and what is bad for me. But then when that is not there, we are not giving it. This mind is like a child. It always waits for your instruction, but we are not giving anything. Then it goes as it wants, right? There is no like, then we the senses act as per the mind's instructions. So that's how we need to, how do we do that? By reading the scriptures, we develop intelligence, and then when we know how to control our mind, right? Many answers. Make our mind friend, not enemy. Yes, very true. So this takes a lot of time, right? Yes. Mind needs to be channelized, controlled by, instead of mind control. Yes. We should not become a slave of our mind. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, who is a spiritual master of Prabhupada, who says that morning we have to beat our mind 1,000 times in a slippers, and the night is the broomstick. We have to, before going to bed, we have to beat 1,000 times. Right? It happens, right? We plan something to, from tomorrow I'll wake up early, I'll do my sadhana, or maybe I have to go for a walk or the jogging, whatever we plan, so many things, but then mind gives so many reasons at night why you cannot do this, right? And then we agree, okay, yes, because that is what we want. We want more comfort. We don't see that what is good for me for future, but for immediate thing, mind says it's okay, it is too late, it has become late, tomorrow morning you need more rest and all these things. That's how we happen. We become slave of our mind. So Dhritarashtra, relationship between dissatisfaction and adharma. So do you think Dhritarashtra is doing all this because of his dissatisfaction? And when there is a dissatisfaction is in life, there is adharma. So how many of you, so what is your opinion on this? How many of you agree on this? Relationship. Is there a relationship? Is there a relationship between dissatisfaction? Means when I'm unhappy in my life, then I take some adharmic path, right? Yes, Nikita. Yes, yes. Anuradha, Anjana. Yes. So all of you agree with this, right? So this is what happened. But what is the point of being dissatisfied? Dhritarashtra, he had such a beautiful and chaste wife, and that too, she was so beautiful, and still she, when she comes to know that his her husband does not is blind, when she covers her life, whole life, who would do that? Can we find anyone such chaste women in now, right? In Kali Yuga, it is impossible. And he was born in such a great family, and his father was Vyasadeva, who was incarnation of God himself. And he has a council of Vidura and then Bhishmadev. And he was living in a palace. What else he want? Just the one problem. He was blind. And because of his dissatisfaction, everything it went to the destruction of his own family, right? So always there is so always we should count our blessing, right? It is said we have to be always happy with what God has given us. Then there is a gratitude only, and even in spiritual life also, even in normal life. So when we are more grateful whatever God has given us, then there is no anxiety in life, and there is no adharma. We will not go take the adharmic path, right? So even if you have to progress in spiritual life, we need to be satisfied in life. Dhritarashtra, had he rightfully handed over to Yudhishthira, what would have been the result? So what do you think if he had rightfully handed over? Because when Pandu, the father of Pandavas, he dies at a very early age, right? Akala Mrityu. He dies. And then what happens? They were all very small children, and Dhritarashtra had to take care of all of them. And so he says that, okay, when they come to maturity, when they become 18 years, I'll hand over the kingdom. Because he was blind, he was not a king. And so he says, but then he doesn't do that, because he becomes so much attached. He thinks that if I'm blind, maybe why not my son can rule it, right? Yes. So when we are, is anybody can answer? So what do you think if he had rightfully handed over to Yudhishthira? Yes, right. So there would be no war, right? Very nice. So now Duryodhana is coming to his Acharya, who is his master, the teacher, Dronacharya, and when he sees the army, and then he's saying here, Pashyetam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyuda Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. O my teacher, behold the great armies of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. So here, this word, Drupada Putrena, is very important. So see the way he is coming to his teacher and speaking, right? So what is he saying? Please see here the how the army has been arranged. So basically, he never expected, because they were all exiled, right? The Pandavas were on exile for 13 plus 1 year. 1 year was incognito. They were not supposed to be seen, identified. And if they were seen, then again they had to repeat that one was, right? So then he uses here the word Drupada Putrena, means he could have used the Drushtadhyumna, but then he uses Drupada Putra because Dronacharya had a political fight with Drupada. And Drupada, because of his fight, he takes he does a sacrifice and he begets a son to kill Dronacharya. Okay, knowing this Dronacharya gives him the military secrets. Basically, he gives him the training for Drushtadhyumna. So he's pointing out, see what stupid thing you have done. He's speaking to his teacher that what have you done? Because you have taught him, you knowing that he is your enemy, he is going to kill you. You have given him all the teaching. Now he has arranged the army so well, because they have arranged army so well. Pandavas were only 7 Akshaunis, and they were the Pandavas had 11 Akshaunis. So even then they were he was surprised. How did they do that? They were not there. And why is he saying this? Because don't show the similar leniency in the war, because for Dronacharya, Arjuna is a favorite student. So he's giving him a warning indirectly that the similar leniency you may not show in the war. So this is let's see, analyze the political behavior of Duryodhana here. So calling Drushtadhyumna, yeah, Drupada was a king, and he was they had some political fight, Drushtadhyumna and Drupada, and they were friends actually, Duryodhana, Dronacharya, and yeah. Actually, there is a story, but if I go in detail, it will go. Time will be. We don't get time. It's already 4. Another 15 minutes. I'll try to complete. So, calling Drushtadhyumna Drupada Putrena, the son of Drupada, Drona's enemy, in order to make sure that Dronacharya would not be lenient this time to Pandavas. So here, actually, there are many other shlokas where Drushtadhyumna, Viratascha, Satyaki, and many other heroes he mentions from the Pandava side to him, so that Dronacharya takes the war seriously. So while mentioning the names of great heroes from his side, he mentioned Dronacharya even before Bhishma, who was eldest, because of mentioning the name of Brahmana before mentioning the name of Kshatriya is acceptable. So basically, Bhishma is the Pitama, but then Dronacharya he mentions first. Why? Because to show that Brahmana is placed in a higher position. So, and he further mentions Kripacharya, who is Dronacharya's brother-in-law, and Ashwatthama as chief captains. So, and then he takes the name of Vikarna, who is Duryodhana's youngest brother. So, he calls him as a Maharathi, though he was not a Maharathi, because he wanted his support, because he had become against Duryodhana when he wanted to insult Draupadi in the assembly, in front of everyone. Duryodhana. So he was the one who raised his voice, saying that it is not right what was happening, right? So he mentions his name so that he needs his support. He said, there are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives. So for my sake, well equipped with weapons and experienced in military science. So tyakta jivita, he says, that is, many people are ready to die for my sake. So these are all things which we can understand. The politicians speak in that way, right? They have something in mind, their actions will be different, their words are different. So that's a way politicians speak. So, and then our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas strength of Pandavas carefully protected by Bhima is limited. Aparyaptam is the term used here, which means complete as well as incomplete. Dronacharya heard the army as incomplete and Bhishma heard it as complete. Thus, the expert diplomat Duryodhana encouraged both Bhishma and Drona with one word, Aparyaptam. So, this is how we can understand the Duryodhana. So, as per Shastras, the six type of aggressors, they can be killed. So, we can see that is a poison giver. So, and so all this thing the Kauravas have done to Pandavas. So, Duryodhana fed Bhima a poison cave when he was small, and arsonist, one who attacks with deadly weapons. So, Duryodhana arranged for a house of lac to be built for Pandavas and considered have to set ablaze when they slept poised to attack, right? So they had made, like they had planned them to kill. And then a thief. So Shakuni cheated in the game and plundered all their wealth. So one who occupies another's land. So the Kauravas occupied the Pandavas' land. The one who kidnaps another wife. Finally, they stole Draupadi by foul means, right? They stole her by during the dice game. So, and once when Jayadratha attempted to kidnap her. So these are the six type of aggressors. Saghosho dhartarashranam hridayani vyadarayat nabastapritavim taiva tumulo abhyanunadayan. The blowing of these different conch shells become uproarious and thus vibrating both in sky and on earth. It shattered the hearts of Pratharastra. So when the blowing of conch shells happened, so it shattered the heart of Dhritarashtra side, because even the Kauravas also blew, but then nothing happened to Pandavas. So why do you think this happened to the Dhritarashtra? Can post in chat. Why did it shatter the hearts of sons of Dhritarashtra? Okay, any answers? Yes, fear of losing son. Krishna was the Sarthi. Yes, because the Lord was on their side, on the side of Pandavas, right? So, because for a devotee, there is no fear, because he is not depending on his own endeavor. When we depend on our own endeavor, then there is an anxiety. But when I depend completely on Lord, right, then there is no, why should I worry? Because there is no worry for a devotee. You may all know, like when there was a day when Bhishma decides, he tells after 10 days when nothing was happening, Duryodhana comes and warns Drona that he is supporting the Arjuna Pandavas. And then he says, takes a vote that next day, either I will be alive or I will Arjuna will be alive. I mean, I will going to kill. So Krishna was actually in tension. He comes to Arjuna previous night to discuss, and then he's sleeping nicely, Arjuna. And he had to wake him up. What are you doing? You are waking, you know, tomorrow is going to be a big day and Bhishma is going to kill you. Then he says, why should I worry? You are there. So that is the belief. So because of that belief, he was able to. So that belief makes a devotee very strong in faith, right? So there is no fear for a devotee. So we all know that Pandavas won. So what are the signs of Pandavas' victory? So anyone knows? Okay, I think we will get late. I'll just go. So it's there are 9 signs of victories. Okay, Dharma Kshetra. So divine chariot is given by the fire god. And then Kapidwaja. We can see the Kapidwaja here. Yes, Hanuman flag. Very nice. Yeah, staying on path of Dharma. So Hanuman flag. So Krishna, when Lord Ram was had to fight against Ravana, right, in Lanka, and Hanuman was there to support. So similarly here, Hanuman is there as in a humble role, as in the form of in flag. So if where Hanuman is there, there is a victory. And then Shankanada, we heard that the conch shells, the sound of conch shells. And then Gandiva, this is given by Lord Shiva, Gandiva. And Pashupata is given by Lord Shiva and Gandiva. So these astras, the divine weapons, which it is said that this it would never exist. The arrows will always keep coming. It will never go empty. So that is the speciality of this Gandiva. And then Tyakta Jivita. Tyakta Jivita, this is word is used, it is like a bad omen. Before the war starts, this Duryodhana says that my people are ready to die for me. That means he has already accepted that they are all going to die. Mokshada Ekadashi. So it was happened on a auspicious day, Mokshada Ekadashi. So today is also an Ekadashi. So an auspicious day of Bhagavad-Gita. We are starting this course. And Bhagya Lakshmi, because the goddesses of fortune. So wherever Narayana is there, there Lakshmi is there. So similarly, where Krishna is there, obviously there is a victory and Bhagya Lakshmi. Rishikesha. And Krishna is called as Rishikesha. Rishikesha means the master of senses and mind, one who controls, who is the control of. That is why we have to surrender to Lord, right? So only then our senses, how do we control our sense and mind? When we surrender our senses to Krishna, when we say Hare Krishna mantra, it is like I'm surrendering my senses to the Lord. So then I'll be able to control this. So there are different symptoms of Arjuna's body due to soft-heartedness, compassionate nature. So this is told in 1.29 shloka, where he says, limbs quivering, mouth drying up, whole body trembling, hair standing on end, hands Gandiva blows, slipping, skin burning, legs unable to stand. Because when he says on the other side that he sees the Bhishma Dev, his great grandfather, who is so dear to him, and then he sees his Acharya, Dronacharya, who was his teacher, and then all his family members, his friends, families, relations, grandchildren, his sons, all family members, friends. He was not able to hold a composure. He lost his composure, right? So he feels compassionate. So these are the 5 reasons which Arjuna gives: compassion, and then no enjoyment, sin, family tradition, indecision. So one is from the next chapter. So we'll see, so this is for compassion. Arjuna uvacha Drishtvaimam svajanam Krishna yuyutsam samupastitam sidanti mama gatrani mukancha parishusyati. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. So this is compassion. So by seeing his relatives, he is not able to hold his compassion. And then he says, Nacha shreyo nupashyami hatva svajanamahave nakangshe vijayam Krishna nacha rajyam sukhanisha. I do not see any good, how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle. Nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom or happiness. So even when we want to celebrate something, we need people, right? Our friends and family to celebrate. So this is what exactly happening with Arjuna. He is saying, if I kill all my kinsmen, what am I going to achieve? Even if I get this kingdom, right? What am I going to do with this kingdom, Krishna? So everybody are killed. How can I be happy? So no enjoyment. Papam evashaye dasman hatvaitana tatayinaha tasman narham tayam hantum Pratharastran svabandhavan swajananikatam hatva sukinasyama madhava. Sin will overcome us if we stay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Pratharastra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of goddesses of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? So if we kill, so he is saying that if we kill all of them, what will happen? I mean, we are going to we'll become sinful because we know that killing is not right. So he's giving this reason to Krishna that why should we kill? So Atatayana means that's the aggressors. So he knows that they are aggressors, but because maybe they don't know, but since we know, we are in knowledge. So why should we kill? He gives this. And then next is gives this is for family tradition. Kulakshaye pranashyanti kuladharma sanatanaha dharme nashte kulam krishnam adharmo bhavatyuta. With the destruction of dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in religious practice. So if all the soldiers are killed, who will take care of their children, right? What will happen to their wife? So who will take care of them? So women may, they may involve in immoral activity, and then that may give to Varna Sankaras. Varna Sankaras means the people like who will be, they are not good for society. They are causing harm, and they are not following any Vedic injunctions, right? Because those times Krishna created the Vedas and the Varnashrama system, the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, because accordingly they have to perform all the activities whatever given, and then their all intention is to attain God. Though all the dharma, the main intention is to, the center is Krishna. So then everybody will forget that, and then what will happen? Family tradition will vanquish. So irreligious will take place. This is what is the next reason he's giving. So in the last reason he gives, Nachaitadvidma kataranno gariyo yadva jayema yadivana jayeyuhu yaneva hatpana jijivishamaha devastita pramuke Pratharastra. Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. Son of Pratharastra, whom if we killed, we should not care to live, are now standing before us on this battlefield. So now actually is in confusion. Whether should I kill them or I should not kill them? Which is better? Because he also tells Krishna that I think it is better for me. I beg and I can. But actually for Kshatriyas, it is not right. They have to rule, and then they have rule and they have to protect the people. Kshatriya means, Kshat means misery, and Traya means who protects. One who protects his people from the miseries is called Kshatriya. So here he says that he is in a confusion. What should I do? So he gives all these reasons to Krishna. 5 reasons: compassion, no enjoyment, sin, family tradition, decision. So Krishna is going to answer all of them in the tomorrow's chapter. So in this we see Krishna has never spoken a word, right? So in tomorrow, Bhagavad-Gita actually starts from chapter 2. So this is a summary. Pratharashtra's inquiry, Duryodhana's fear, blowing of conch shells, Arjuna's observation, Arjuna's reason not to fight. So this is the link. So these are the books. So you get a photo, you can frame it also. So Radha Govind DT, and this is a Bhagavad-Gita as it is, Science of Self-Realization, and Perfect Question and Perfect Answer. And along with this, you get mantra on this one, and beat and a beat back. So this all includes 600, including the transportation. So please do attend the quiz. We'll post how to take the quiz and these things in the group. You need to register yourself. So you have registered for this course, but registering for quiz is different. You have to register in that website. Okay, and then it's very simple. You just have to give your email ID and give some password. You can also give your mobile numbers so that it's easy for you to remember. And then you can take the quiz every day after the chapter. Very easy, some 10 questions you will have. And 80% should be right. And if you go wrong, you can take unlimited attempts. And so after the 18 days, when you complete this quiz, you will get a certificate like this. And it is an auto download. So when you will get only when you are able to complete the quiz, right? So please do take, and any questions, so you may ask. You may raise your hands if you have any questions. Hare Krishna. Okay, unmuting everyone. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Yeah, these details regarding quiz you will be given in the group, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Recording for the lecture are you giving every day?
Yes, Mataji. This is going live. We will share in the group.
Fine. So we can have a revision of it.
Sure. You can have it. You can go through it, and also I suggest. So I suggest that you please go through Bhagavad Gita book if possible after the class. Maybe it will be helpful. Or also, and also the quiz when you take, when you go wrong, it will give the answers also, the detailed answer. That will be helpful for you.
It's not basically for kids, basically it's for everyday reciting, because this is a very special time going on. Birthday of Krishna is going to arrive. So it's just for their. Thank
Yes, yes, very nice.
you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Didi.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, the recording will be there. You can hear. It's already there. I'm just posting here now in the chat. I think this is posted in group. I'm not in group, so I don't know. So this is the link of today's session. Hare Krishna. So any questions on today's chapter? Today's was not much into like a very simple chapter. We just had 5 reasons of Arjuna's, right? And he gave up. So tomorrow Krishna is going to answer everything. So it will be an interesting chapter. Hare Krishna. Any questions?
So, can we have a kind of summary how the chapters are linked? I mean, how it can be linked together so that we can understand the flow of,
Yeah, see, basically, the first 6 chapters are karma yoga. Okay, like by our karma, how do we connect to Lord? So, and then next, so from chapter 7 to chapter 12, it's mainly on bhakti. Bhakti is kept in the middle because it's a precious. So anything is precious is kept, is safeguarded, right? So bhakti is in the middle, 7 to 12. And then Krishna talks about like in the chapter 13 to 18, knowledge. So basically, not everybody are ready for bhakti. So though the ultimate goal is to attain bhakti, but then through knowledge. So only when we have knowledge, we develop that bhakti. So we need to have developed that knowledge. So that knowledge comes from chapter 13 to 18. So, okay, so that's how it goes. So the connection, it is there. From each chapter, there is a connection, right? So now you know that you will slowly understand, Prabhu. Like when we go chapter by chapter, there is a continuity. Okay.
Mataji, this chart also was very beautiful. Can we just get something like in WhatsApp or something, whatever?
The PPT, PPT you're asking?
Yeah. If you can just send it across to us, it'll be all right.
I think it is available online, Mataji. When you take the quiz, just check it out. It should be available. When you take the quiz, they should be available to download the PPT. Or I will inform the admin to post in the group.
Are you having the quiz today?
Yeah, it should be open. You can register and please take.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, and please give the name what you want in the certificate. Okay? Whatever you want in to be your name in the certificate, you can do that.
Okay.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Okay. If anyone has any questions? So please come for all the sessions and don't miss any of the sessions. Attend all the classes so that you get to understand at least so that you develop that interest and then start reading Prabhupada books more deeply. Hare Krishna. Okay, if there are no questions, then we can close. Pancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti vaishnavi ki jai. Ramachari Haridas ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Okay, all of you unmute and we can chant Hare Krishna once together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. See you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji.
I'm not Guruji. I'm just Guruji.